Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are all doing good. It's VD Engineering here, and in this video I'll be covering Simulink, the very powerful MATLAB add-on, the Aerospace Blockset, as well as two examples which were made by me and one by MATLAB. So let's jump right into it. So what is Simulink actually? It is essentially a MATLAB extension. You guys must be all aware that MATLAB is the most popular engineering software out there. It is built from C++, and Simulink is simply an add-on to MATLAB. It's used mainly for control system design and simulation, since it essentially represents an engineering system with a block diagram. So block diagram notation is very important because it allows you to model various systems very quickly. So you can have various blocks saying so let's say if you're looking at a nuclear power plant, you can model like the piping system as one block, the thermal control system as one block, and so on. And Simulink is also very powerful since it can be interfaced with various flight simulators, such as flight gear and X-plane. So the Aerospace Blockset, right? So what is this actually? It is within Simulink. It's a very, very powerful tool. It's used by almost every single aerospace company in the world. It's used for flight dynamic simulations, flight control law design, and in addition, it can also be used for flight simulations for various missions. You can compare your data very quickly. Within this Aerospace Blockset, you have many tools available for use. So let's look at some of these tools. I'll be showing you guys a brief rundown of these tools here. We have Actuators, Aerodynamics, various pilot models, animation, propulsion, as well as two flight simulator interfaces, which are very powerful and which can be used in an instant. So why should you learn this Aerospace Blockset? Well, let me tell you that this Aerospace Blockset is used by literally every single aerospace company, as I mentioned before. So for example, Boeing, SpaceX, and also companies around the world like ISRO in India, and also like DRDO, Israeli Aerospace Industries, and so on. So it's a very powerful tool. It's used by academia as well, like universities, quite extensively. It's used mainly because of the fact that it's very quick for simulations, and it's a very high turnaround time. You can also implement custom codes in there. So if you have a very customized system, so for example, let's say like damage tolerant flight control algorithm, which is not very typical, you can customize the various blocks in there within your capabilities and use it for different mission scenarios. You can evaluate designs prior to production and actually building it. So you can actually validate your algorithm very quickly from simulation before building your system. And lastly, it's used for VNV, which stands for verification and validation. So verification means simply checking that your algorithm is doing what it's supposed to do. And validation means that your algorithm is matching the real test data. So you can actually check both in Simulink, since Simulink Aerospace Blockset does have a real-time feature in it. This feature I'll not be covering since it's quite beyond the scope of this lecture, but it's a good thing to mention it anyway. So the agenda for this video will be the Aerospace Blockset, the available tools within the blockset. I'll be covering one example which was made by MATLAB. And I have my example in here as well, the space shuttle launch, which I recreated in flight gear. And if you want to know more about this example, you can watch my previous video on the STS rocket launch algorithm, which was developed in MATLAB and then imported into Simulink after. So this will be like a part 2 of that video. So let's first jump into the Aerospace Blockset. Alright guys, so we are now into MATLAB and we can actually begin our demonstration. So the first thing you have to do is that you have to actually open this Aerospace Blockset, and the way you do that is to first open Simulink. The way you open Simulink is you simply type in Simulink in your command window and then you can open it. So it'll open this window here, which is the library browser. Now this library browser lets you access everything available within your Simulink installation. The Aerospace Blockset is typically the first option here because it is alphabetical, as you can see there. So this Aerospace Blockset, let's look at a few of these features available here. So the first thing we have is actuators. Now an actuator is used in aircraft to move a mechanical component. So let's say like flaps, landing gear, spoilers. They're all controlled by an actuator since it lets you push and pull things. So we can model this as a mechanical system here. We can also include non-linear effects, as you can see there. So your demand is simply what you need and your actual is simply what it tells you. So obviously if you have a system, you will not receive 100% because there's always an efficiency, there's always a loss involved. Losses could be things like, spring damping or stuff like inaccuracies in your electrical commands. So that is quite important to model here. So moving on to aerodynamics, we can actually see that there's forces and moments. Now for these forces and moments, these can be actually done by mathematical calculations, but it lets you skip that and you can also add some stuff in here. So the values in here, if you hover over the block, it'll tell you what this means. So things like dynamic pressure, your flight velocity with respect to your ground, center of gravity, center of pressure. And from that, you can simply do a coordinate transformation and determine your forces. So that's quite useful. Now this DATCOM thing here. So that DATCOM was built by the US Air Force. It is actually called the US Air Force Stability and Control Digital DATCOM. It lets you calculate forces and moments from empirical data. So it's a very powerful tool. I don't know personally how to use it, but it is quite involved. There is also a special tool called Missile DATCOM. It's used by the US military and by military contractors around America. Now this Missile DATCOM is ITAR restricted, unfortunately, so it cannot be accessed outside America. And this is why we have the simple version here, so digital DATCOM. So animation is quite useful. We have MATLAB animations. Now this is within MATLAB, so this can be used very quickly. But we also have things like flight simulator interfaces. If you look at flight gear here, flight gear is a tool, and I'll be showing you guys in my example how this works. So you'll see in a second. But flight gear simply means that you can combine all these tools into here. So it is a very powerful feature within Simulink itself, and I'll be showing you guys how you can do this. So MATLAB animation tools, you have 3 degrees of freedom or 6 degrees of freedom. It's quite obvious what that means. So 6 degrees of freedom means that if you have something like this phone case, you can move it anywhere in space. But 3 degrees of freedom means that it is only a planar motion, so you can only move it within one plane. And you have MATLAB animation in there. Now I would strongly recommend to learn how to use this flight simulator interfaces, because these tools are a lot more powerful. And the one thing is that you can import CAD files into flight gear. It's quite amazing actually. I have 2 old videos I made last year, I think, on showing you guys how you can actually import your mechanical design CAD files. So something which you made in SolidWorks, Inventor, Siemens, NX into flight gear. It's quite crazy actually. So that's in my old video, which I will link to in the description box. And so moving on, we can look at environment. So we have things like atmosphere, celestial phenomena. Now this is mostly for spacecraft, so things like star trackers and all that kind of stuff. But gravity is important, and wind is also there. So if you look at wind, we have like various NASA models in here. It's quite cool. Now this turbulence model simply looks at your wind speed, and so what this actually means is that there's quite different models in here. Now a turbulent flow simply means that the boundary layer over the surface will not be very linear. It's actually quite a non-linear phenomenon, so you have to use like these kind of models to approximate what's going on. These mostly are built by NASA, and they're quite useful. The one which I would recommend is your basic one, so your horizontal wind model here, and you can start from there and then add on to it. So the most important feature within this toolbox is your equations of motion. You have 6 degrees of freedom and this one here. But this is the point mass is simply like, if you like a spring, for example, it's quite basic. So let's not look at that too much. But 6 degrees of freedom is what they use in aerospace companies. So like SpaceX and stuff like that. So you have things like Euler angles. You can input your position, velocity, orientation, yaw, pitch, and roll. And then it actually calculates stuff like body acceleration and so on. So like this is so powerful because you can basically input your speed, your velocity, your object mass, its initial location, its initial velocity, and from that you can apply a force, and then from that you can very quickly output stuff like acceleration, body velocity as a function of time. So it's very powerful, it's very robust, and you can quickly change parameters to see how your simulation will respond to the new settings. So it's quite cool. And you have different reference of frames. So you have wind axis, body axis. The one which I would strongly recommend you use is the basic one here, because that's with respect to your body axis. And wind model is kind of more, it's more for like crosswind landings and stuff like that, but body axis is quite useful. So we can use that for now. And flight parameters here. This is quite basic. It's not much to talk about. It's stuff like, you know, your dynamic pressure. This is simply your half times density times velocity squared. Airspeed correction. Now this is quite useful because if you're flying at a high altitude, you can quickly calculate your airspeed with respect to the ground and with respect to the air by using your acceleration and your pressure in pascals. And P naught here stands for static pressure, which means that it is the pressure outside the ambient pressure, so it's quite useful. And you have stuff like Mach number, which is simply your velocity over speed of sound, and you have stuff like angular acceleration and so on. So that's quite nice. So GNC is quite important because if you look at most aerospace companies, the engineers who use the software are the GNC engineers, and GNC stands for Guidance, Navigation and Control. So it is quite important to use, and we can look at various tools available here. So guidance means kinematics, control means control systems, and navigation means like how it's moving in space, so like GPS and stuff like that. You have these very powerful tools here. You can calculate stuff like accelerometer data, gyroscope data, and so on. So next up we have mass properties. Now this means that this is very important for aerospace vehicles, since if you have an aircraft or a rocket, they release mass every second, which means that their center of gravity will be shifting all the time. For a rocket, it will be going lower and lower. And this means that it's very important to predict your stability, since you want your rocket or airplane to stay stable as it's flying in orbit and not getting too out of hand, because things can go really bad if your plane becomes unstable. Like, you can also crash, so that's quite useful to know what your center of gravity is with respect to time, so you can make adjustments to your control law depending on what the state is. This thing here is quite interesting. It's a pilot model. You have crossover, precision, and Tustin. And if you want more information, you can simply go onto the MATLAB window here and go into these pilot models. Here you have crossover and you have these transfer functions in there. Now this phenomenon is more of a biomechanical phenomenon, so it's quite hard to model with math. You will need like some uncertainty in there because pilots fly planes differently. Some people, they're very stiff on their controls, and some pilots, they just like let go very quickly. So it depends on like how you're trying to model it. Next up we have propulsion. Propulsion is, we only have one thing in here. So we have the turbofan system. It's basically your jet engine, and it lets you calculate force based on Mach number, your height, and your speed control. So if you have maximum power, if you have minimum power, you can calculate your force, and it's quite useful if you're trying to model a jet airplane. So last up we have utilities, and we have axis transformations, some more math available here. Now this can be useful for any application, not just aerospace. For dynamics, autonomous cars, it's quite useful. You have math operations in here, this basic math, like linear algebra, matrices, quaternions, and so on. And you have stuff like unit conversion, so this is quite standard. So that brings us to the end of the walkthrough, and I'll be showing you guys two examples now. The first example is quite cool. It is a MATLAB built-in example, and it's called the missile guidance example. The way you access it is by typing aero_guidance. Just give it a second there. And you have this missile guidance system here. You have your various subsystems here. You have your seeker, your tracker, your guidance laws, and your autopilot. Now, if I actually talk about this in full detail, it'll take me like a week, so, since it's so like in depth. But I can actually like run a quick simulation here. So let me just go back into my Simulink folder and open it. So let me just run this thing and see what happens. So it is MATLAB built, so like they made it, not me. You can see here it's copyrighted by MathWorks, so it's quite cool. It's compiling, and you will soon see how it looks like. You can see that it's updating all these blocks here. It's trying to like compile the whole thing and combine all my block diagrams into one simulation. So you can see it over there. we have a missile target intercept, and once it hits the target, you can actually see some cool stuff. It'll open in a minute, so just give it time. So you can actually like see your acceleration, your height with respect to your time value here, your altitude, your missile angle, the gimbal. So the gimbal is the gyroscope where it's pointing towards, your Mach number, and some more stuff here. So it is quite awesome, and MATLAB has made this, so like a big thumbs up to them. And last up we have an example which I made in here. So it's your rocket launch. I made my space shuttle launch in my past video, and here's like a demonstration of that in flight gear, so I can quickly show you guys how that looks like. If you want more detail on how I did this, you have to watch my old video on linking Simulink and flight gear. It's in the description block, so it's quite useful. So let's first start up my model here. So here basically I have animation. I've taken my values of velocity and height and distance, and from that I can calculate my location and input that into flight gear. So this is a very good block here. This thing lets you calculate your geographic location, so latitude and longitude. And I have some control laws defined here to see for a space shuttle pitch angle. So let me just run this thing and see what happens. So sorry, give me a second here. Shit. So I can start up flight gear, and you can see what it looks like. So the way you can run this is you can see my space shuttle over here. And let me adjust the view settings very quickly. Let's try that. So this looks quite cool. Okay, and then let me compile this thing. So it's blacked out because my time settings are off, so because I'm flying at dawn, I believe, so I can quickly change that. Time settings. So we're flying right now. You can see my launch, and you can see my roll maneuver over here, so it looks quite cool. So I basically modeled the entire launch into orbit, but it's actually a 10-minute launch, so I won't show the whole thing. I have a video in my past showing the actual simulation, so you can see it over there. So that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something new about Simulink and MATLAB. I do recommend you guys to like build your own simulations from the ground up. It doesn't have to be too complicated. You can start off with something small. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.